Well, I'm headed back to check on the lake at Fun Valley, see if it's filled up anymore. I hope it has. I had to go to Sulphur for a minute, take care of a deal, and then came back. On the way to Sulphur, I had a gal in a big old gray pickup bust the stop sign right in front of me when I was getting ready to go over on Hanover Road in Primrose. Had Texas tags. Great big old fat blonde woman with what looked like a skinny little dark complected man sitting next to her. Then I stopped and got Linda and I both something to eat at Sonic. Then I came back to the house and I had to sew up a buttonhole in my bibbed overalls because my stainless revolver keeps working itself out of it. So when I took my bib down and looked at it, the threads that were holding it together had come unsewn somehow. I really don't know what's with that. Boy, there's a lot of traffic just showed up. I wonder what the deal is. Coming off I-35. This is a good place if you're not watching to get hit, T-boned by somebody coming up off the interstate. I saw one guy, I know he was doing at least 80 miles an hour coming up, almost turn his car over into the median, speeding up there. Spoke briefly with my youngest, Matt. I'm going to go find him and talk to him here in a minute. My second youngest, Mike, I think, is probably in Oklahoma City doing what he does. My youngest son, Chris, I think today's his day off. I think he gets one day off. And my son Benjamin's at his house working on his house with Tigger. And Tigger was hollering at me, yelling at me, "Papa, Nana, boo-boo." That's his deal. I think he thinks that's so funny. That little catchphrase. Nana, Nana, boo-boo. My knees today are excruciating. But it's like I explained to Linda, she's having real bad problems too. Have a choice of medicating myself heavily and not hurting, or not medicating myself heavily and being able to think. I prefer to be able to think. I like having my faculties about me. I try to reach a happy medium between the two. The problem is I'm either, it's a delicate balance, believe that or not. I've got so many things wrong with me that, well, yeah, a little bit more. Surely there is. Let's look and see how see if the creek's still flowing. That's always kind of iffy, and we're still in a drought. Yeah, it's come up. Yeah. Right there, you can see it flowing over the gravel and stuff. It's not doing it hard, but it is flowing, which I'm very thankful for. I love me some water. Without water, none of us would be alive. We have to have it. Quick tale, and then I'm gonna close this part of the vlog off today. When I was in the Navy, some buddies of mine and I, we'd go down into Mexico on the weekends when we were there, and I'd go down there and I'd drink the water, and they would have to get bottled water, and I never got diarrhea or stomach problems from it. And the guys I was with couldn't figure that out. How can you do that? Well, you're looking at it right now. When I grew up, while I was growing up down here and in Chickasha, and after I moved to Norman, before I married Linda, I just drink right out of the creeks. That's the reason Mexican people do not have a problem, and they live to a ripe old age. That's because they drink out of the creeks and stuff. So I've got all the same flora, or did have, I probably still do, in my digestive system that they did. And I remember one buddy of mine, Terry Collier, we went down there and we were, Linda and the boys met Terry, but we went down there and we went to deep in Mexico. It's not like at the tourist areas. When you go to eat and someone prepares you a meal, usually it's at some woman's home, and there'll be a place outside sit and she'll cook it for you. And I'd always drink the water. And a lot of times the water it looked clean, but it'll have different things in it that would make you sick. Never made me sick. And that's what, growing up like I did, one of the things it did for me. Late friend of mine, Dr. Charles Hallmark, I used to work with, he could do the same thing. He'd just get him some water. And at the park over at Sulphur, just drink it out of the creek. I'm not saying that my system will kill cryptosporidium and leptosporidium and all the other little biological hazards, but I've never been infected by it. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to turn this camera around and finish this up. Yeah, I'm going to finish this vlog up. It'll be a short one. It'll go on my YouTube channel when I get back to the office. I've got a few things I need to do before that, before I pick the children up from school. Linda won't be going to church tonight. She's got some fairly significant problems, and I'm probably not going to, due to the same reason. I'm barely ambulatory, let's put it that way. It's 2 walking cane day, definitely. The pain in my knees and my lower back is excruciating. It would help if I lost 100 pounds of ugly fat, but the problem is I'm not cutting my head off. Ain't gonna happen. I want you to know, if you're watching this, the same thing I say every time you watch this. I do love you. Everybody watching this, you're on my heart and my mind, and I pray for you. I do. I want God to bless you. And like the imaginary sign above my left shoulder says, be kind. Have a really great day. Bye.